Alright, so I just found this out. I was putting this screw in this valve cover, and it's just completely stripped out. Tempted to put a big old fat wood screw in there, but let's take this bracket off real quick and maybe we can identify why that's stripped out. Maybe I could put an insert in it. I wonder if I can tap that out with a quarter, of course. Ooh, that sounds great. That carburetor works perfect. Perfect. Hey, so welcome back, folks. So as you can see from that last video, we got the old zero turn running. She's running good, and I'm really happy with how that's working out. So here's some of the things that we are going to do in this portion of the video here. So I think the first thing that I need to address is the general sloppiness in these handles. Both of them are the same way. Just super sloppy. And I don't know if they're supposed to center back to the middle when you let go. I don't know. It doesn't look by the design that they're made to center back. So I'm going to get all this wiring back out of the way, get the battery out of there so I can access that area easier, and we'll work on that first. Then I need to change the fluid. I'm not going to get too involved in changing that fluid out. Probably just take it, put a new filter on it, suck out all that old fluid. I don't know, I might get creative on that. Let's see, after that, throw both gas tanks back on, plumb them back in. After I get that all done, probably take her for a little test drive, see how she works, and then throw this deck back in underneath it, put the belt on it. In that last video, you saw where I tore this pulley apart. That really wasn't very hard, and it saved me a little bit of money, and it was so worth it. You can see that was kind of a fail to try to squirt grease into that pulley, because I did get some in it, but it didn't work at all. So we're good with that deck. So let's get started. Doesn't look like this design is made to return back to center. I don't see anything that does that. The spring right here is set to where this notch has movement without activating the spring all the way to forward motion. When you get to the middle, you can feel it stops with the spring, and then you can lock the handle in place. And this dampener, I mean, it works good, and the spring makes it return to center. So that just must be how that's supposed to be. Let's put a drop of oil on this so it's not so squeaky. So my little suction device won't fit in there. I guess I can siphon it out maybe. I don't think there's a drain on it anywhere. Doesn't appear to be. Alright, so I scabbed the wiring back together. I put my battery back in it here. And I'm going to go ahead and crank it and see if I can get it to start dumping oil out. It might start because there is some fuel in the carburetor. But I'm not going to choke it to start it, so let's see if it'll just start dumping oil out. Maybe we should try to start it. So that's working, but my goodness, it's not sucking it out very fast. Let me go ahead and hook that fuel tank back up to it so we can make it just idle and get this oil out of here. Alright, I think that's pretty good. I'm going to put the new filter back on it, top off the oil, so we'll get started on finishing this back up. Let's do an adjustment on the neutral of this thing, because the wheel should not spin at all when she's in neutral, and there's a way to adjust that out if it does. So let's start there. Let's start it up and see if those wheels move at all in neutral. So that one's creeping backwards, and that one's creeping forward. Alright, definitely need some adjustment. Let's start with that. Looks like I need to make that rod shorter. This was the craziest thing. When I went to change the oil on this, the drain plug is down underneath the starter. I had to remove the starter, and it's a regular pipe threaded plug. And when I drained it, it went everywhere. It made a huge mess. So I built a little angle piece off of that, and I've got a little drain plug right here that when I change it next time, I'll just pull this plug out. All right, that'll work.